A Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolor paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is zero, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks. And thank you for tuning in with me once again to another spontaneous and random edition of True Conservative Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank you once again for tuning in with me. I know it's been some time since I have done a program on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and it's been some time since you've heard from me, folks, and I wanted to extend my sincerest apologies for that. There's a lot of reasons, and I'm going to be getting into that later on why I haven't done a show or haven't had the ambition to do so. As you all know and are well aware of the political landscape in America and the economic landscape in America and the moral landscape in America, you all know that it's very precarious in these times. And sometimes I just have to look back and just have to shake my head. I got to blink twice. I got to slap myself in my mug to realize that, yep, this is reality that we're living in, folks. And for all true conservatives that listen to me on a consistent basis, I appreciate it. But, folks, it is getting very precarious out here, and to be completely honest with you, I really don't have any kind of ambition or any kind of motivation to get on the Blog Talk Radio Network in an attempt to do a broadcast, because it seems to me, folks, and I've been broadcasting, doing this for some time. I know a lot of my listeners download the program and listen to on their iPods or on their MP3 players, and I really appreciate it. But, folks, the reason I haven't been on here for some time is because I'm just drained, folks. I mean, it's getting pretty disgusting out here. You take a good whiff of reality, and it smells pretty awful. It smells like a damn urinal at the Coney Island Fair, for Christ's sake. It's getting pretty pathetic out here in America, and if you happen to be a true conservative, and I'm not talking about some Republican moron who's bowed down to the feminist and liberal agenda or some Democratic mindless Nimrod. I'm not talking about these political parties out here. I'm talking about true conservatives. I'm talking about conservatives that care about this country, that care about the integrity of the Constitution, that care about shielding our children from sexual depravity and violence and other predators that may be out there to rob them of their innocence. I mean, that's what conservatives are. They want to shield our children from this. They want to bring some sort of light at the end of that tunnel. And folks, there is no light at the end of this tunnel. And this is why I haven't come up on here in some time, because, folks, I'm not trying to be some hyper-sensationalist out here. I know there's a lot of people that usually come into my chat room and they flap their fat Cheeto-stained fingers on the keyboard claiming that I'm some sort of hyper-sensationalist or something of that nature. Folks, I'm a conservative. I was a lifelong Republican up until this election, for Pete's sake. I mean, I saw the absolute bowing down to the feminist and liberal agenda in this new Republican Party that we're witnessing here. Nobody's abiding by the conservative principles any longer. Are you kidding me? And not only are they not abiding by the conservative principles, they're not even abiding by America. About American principles, about preserving the American integrity, folks. And this is why I just haven't come on here. Because I try to provide discourse that most folks don't hear in the boob-tube mainstream media or any of these ridiculous ass clowns that call themselves broadcasters or independent news reporters on the internet out here. I try to talk about the actual crux of the matter. And you see, this is what's unfortunate. I mean, in this new liberal feminist America that we're living in, folks, and this is liberal and feminist. I know there's a lot of ass clowns out there that are sitting there flapping their yappers saying that I'm some sort of paranoid loser or something. Folks, You go outside your house, all right? Go to the mall. This is the holiday season. Go to the mall here in the next couple of weeks and take a look at the youth of America, all right? And take a look how ridiculous they look nowadays. How they look like a bunch of, with all due respect, a bunch of fruity-ass bastards. The males out here, you can tell the feminine physical attributes very prominently and the feminine vernacular. You've got girls out here that are scantily clad at 8 years old. If you don't believe me, go outside your house and see it for yourself. And then you go flip on the television at 7 o'clock, primetime television hour, when you're supposed to be sitting back watching it with your family. What comes on the television screen? Nothing but a bunch of sexual depravity and violence. And then we wonder why we're going down the tubes as a society. You know, I hear a lot of people, you know, and folks, I talk to many people throughout my day. And I talk to these people, and they sit here and they ask me, why is the economy going down the tubes? What's happening to America? I'll tell you what's happening to America. America fell asleep at the wheel. America fell asleep at the wheel. And like I've always said, and there's a lot of people that are probably listening to this, rolling their eyes saying, here he goes again, but it bears repeating, folks, because obviously most Americans are so stupid, they can't read, they're not even able to understand what is going on right before their very eyes. But folks, what's happening is the government that was made for the people and by the people, this America that abides by the Constitution, that gave this government to you and I as regular everyday citizens, that gave us unalienable rights. Hey, these Bill of Rights, the Constitution, these rights weren't given to man prior to this document, morons. All right? I mean, you know, this document is very sacred, but unfortunately, most of America, they're out here asleep at the wheel. I mean, they're more worried about tickling their ass cracks and getting themselves a $4,000 plasma screen TV or a $50,000 car or a $250,000 house that they can't even pay, than worrying about their own liberties, than worrying about the bureaucratic government that dictates the very existence of their lives. They fell asleep at the wheel, folks, and let me tell you something. A lot of you folks that are listening to me right now, whether it's live or in the archive, you have a lot to blame with this too. I mean, you just sat back, you know, and instead of actually participating in your government on a local level, on a state level, on a federal level, you just decided to play this monopoly game too. And you decided just to go out, you know, not participate in your government, not give two rat's asses about what your elected officials are doing on your behalf, on my behalf. You just didn't care, and you decided to go out and party like it's, 1999. And this is what's unfortunate. This is why America's going down the tubes, folks. Because had America been driving this mechanism of government that was made for the people, by the people, had we been doing our duty as a citizen, we wouldn't be in this mess right now, folks. We would not be in this mess. If we had an education system that actually educated our children on how to participate in this government, all right, if we actually had a justice system that actually implemented justice based on this Constitution, if we didn't have a quasi-socialist entitlement system, folks, I mean, we wouldn't be going through this garbage. And there's a lot of folks in here in complete denial. You know, you're going to have a lot of proud American folks. You know, a lot of them can't believe it. Let me tell you something. It took a while for me to believe it, folks, all right? Don't feel left out if you think that, you know, a true conservatives like myself that are actually, you know, having this type of political discourse or, you know, flipping their wig or something. Hey, I'm a conservative, all right? I've raised children. I've got grandchildren, all right? And all those generations that are past me are going to instill the conservative principles onto that next generation, rightfully so, and to participate in their government. But unfortunately, folks, I don't think we're going to have much of a government left. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be a hyper-sensationalist here, folks. I'm just a realist. I'm just a damn realist out here. And what my own eyes, my own observations, my research, my news gathering, my references, what it all culminates to is that, folks, America as we know it is gone. It's gone away. And I know people are out there saying, oh, I can't believe it. He's lying. It's not gone. He's a hyper-sensationalist. Well, that's a bunch of malarkey, and anybody with any kind of common sense knows it. Folks, I predicted this economic collapse, all right? I predicted, and you don't believe me, take a look at the archive. I predicted this back in February of last year. All right? And what happened? An economic collapse happened. And what did I say was the problem back then, folks? We consume more than we produce as a country. That is an economic, unprecedented precedent, folks. We consume more than we produce. Why don't you try to live your life that way? Well, I shouldn't say that, because most Americans are living their lives that way. And as a result, we're seeing the direct consequence of consuming more than we produce. We're seeing it for people flipping out that they can't believe that their mortgage can't be paid because they got laid off from a job that was either outsourced or, I mean, it just had to be cut because these corporate giants and these multinational corporations had to put more money in their pockets. So they cut your little job because, well, they could probably do without you. And these people are losing their houses, their cars. They're losing everything. And what's happening? Well, instead of falling back on family, folks, and I'm a foot soldier for the American family, for the world family. Instead of falling back on family during those rough times, they're not falling back on family. You know what they're doing, folks? They're killing themselves. They're giving themselves a Harry Carey session. They're out here hanging themselves. They're blowing themselves away. I heard one lady in some town, I don't know where the hell it was, she Molotov cocktailed her house just so the bank couldn't have it. I mean, these people are so materialistic and economically driven, folks. It has demeaned humanity to a point where it's ridiculous at this point, folks. And then we wonder why single-parent families are the majority of the day, huh? Then we wonder why teen pregnancies are all of a sudden not only happening on a rapid and consistent basis, but it's now embraced, folks. I mean, could you believe the Republican Party, which at one time had conservative principles as the root foundation of their ideology, could you believe them justifying teen pregnancy because, oh, Sarah Palin, she has a teenage daughter. But no, she's a conservative. She can't have a teenage pregnant daughter. She can't do that. So what do? We just justify it. Unbelievable. Folks, we've lost grips of what life is about. And what is life about? You know, everybody's always asking themselves, well, what is this experience about? Why are we here? Why are you listening to me right now? Why are you staring at a computer screen if you happen to be looking at me on a computer? Or why are you looking at whatever you're looking at right now? We don't know that, folks. We don't know that. But let me tell you something, what everybody throughout history, and the empirical evidence is there, what did they fall back on during serfdom, during slavery, during war times, during the most oppressive times of humanity? What did man count on to fall back on to keep him going, to keep him from offing himself, to keep him from not wanting to wake up? What kept him going? Family. That's what kept him going. And you see, we've lost that. We've lost that. We've lost the family. Single-parent families are the majority of the day, and the two-parent families that are in existence in America, they don't give two rats' asses about their children. I mean, they're dumping their kids off on an illegal alien child care provider, or in front of a boob tube, or a violent video game, or some technological widget that'll shut them up. And then we wonder why all of our youth in America seems to be somewhat uniform in their personal and physical feature regard. Then we wonder why, you know, if you talk to somebody who happens to graduate from high school this year and they happen to be male, they sound like they just popped out of the derriere of Richard Simmons. All right? This is what our youth is being brought up to believe, brought up to feel, because this feminism and liberalism, folks, it's ruined America. It has ruined America. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you're a hyper-sensationalist, Ghost. You don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? Just take a good whiff about what's happening to the social structure of America. Okay, and you look at the social structure, it's going to pot, all right? I mean, you've got sexual deviancy just running rampant in open, plain eyesight, in broad daylight, in front of everybody. I mean, just deviant sexual activity, on top of which we have females out here, thanks to the old feminist movement. The feminist movement has equated woman liberation with wearing skimpy little clothes and showing your cleavage so you can go in an attempt to try to, I don't know, have some economic gain out of that. Woman liberation because this ass could be yours if the price is right. I mean, this is what's warped our children. This is what's warped the country, folks. Justifying this ridiculous activity that, oh, well, you know what, if Britney Spears goes on stage and kisses Madonna on MTV, oh, so what? I mean, if gangster rappers are out here busting caps, pimping hoes, you know what, so what? And then we wonder the consequences of this ridiculous power of suggestion, and that's exactly what it is, folks, power of suggestion. And I'm looking here in the chat room. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in with me. I'm here in the chat room. They're saying we have a bunch of sexual deviants in our government. Well, of course we do. Folks, the reason we do is because we elected them. We elected them without even understanding who in the blue hell these people are. We elect these people based on the boob tube, frankly, folks. I mean, how do you know your candidate, honestly? Do you attend the debates? No, I don't think so, all right? I mean, I'm talking about every little local debate. No, you don't. You go by some stupid, ridiculous television advertisement of some bozo sitting there, you know, in the horizon, you know, with a cowboy hat or, you know, I'm in Texas, so, you know, these idiots in Texas, they'll come on with a cowboy hat and ride a horse or something. Hey, I'm from Texas, vote for me, boy. And these idiots go out and they vote for them. Nobody actually understands what they're voting for when they go into that ballot box and vote for some idiot that they remembered off the boob tube. And you see, folks, what we do by voting for these idiots, all right, and let me tell you something, folks, 99.9% of all politicians, all right, and I'm excluding those on the local level because I honestly believe that those who get in politics on the local level actually want to help their community. I actually believe that. But as far as these state representatives, the governors, senators, congressmen, presidents, all these bureaucrats, they're all a bunch of, I mean, they're irrelevant at this point. I mean, I hate to say that, all right? I'm not trying to be some Mr. Rebel. I never thought I'd ever say this garbage, folks. I've been alive a long time. A long time. And I never thought I'd ever say this about my government, about my country, about the people running this country. I never thought I'd say that. That, you know, at this point, I mean, it seems to me that the damn government is irrelevant. Because look at what they're doing to us. They're selling us out, damn it! They're selling us out! And what is everybody doing? Oh, it's a great day in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Let me go ahead and shovel more food down my gullet like a damn garbage disposal. Or let me go and buy a pet rock or some ridiculous widget that some stupid advertisement told me to go out and buy. It's ridiculous what we've become, folks. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying, well, why is he screaming? Why is he screaming out here? I'll tell you why I'm screaming, folks. Because I love this country, damn it. I grew up in this country. I love the Constitution. I love America. But gosh darn it, when the American people, the people that are supposed to be in charge of this government, because remember, this government was made for the people, by the people, when the American people are just sitting on their thumbs, not doing a damn thing, what happens? You're seeing the consequence of that very scenario, folks, right now. The multinational corporations have taken control of the government, folks. It's obvious. It's more than obvious. All right? Don't try to label me some conspiracy theorist because I'm stating the damn obvious. These damn multinational corporations have sold us out, folks. They sold us out. They've taken away the opportunity for an independent businessman or for somebody to work 30 years, put their retirement, and go open an XYZ business somewhere. They've ruined that opportunity for you, for me. I mean, let me tell you something, folks. I am an independent businessman, all right? And I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm a damn member of my Chamber of Commerce, and we're losing members that, mom and pop shops, independent sole proprietor businesses out here that made this community. We're seeing them drop like flies out here because old multinational corporations are coming into communities and pricing goods below wholesale price just to get rid of all these mom and pop shops, all the independent businesses, all the sole proprietor businesses out here. They got rid of them. And what did they replace them with in return, folks? They replaced them with these ridiculous big conglomerate companies who come into the damn community. And if you happen to live in a small community, folks, and you have one of these Walmarts or these ridiculous big conglomerations, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll guarantee you, 25 years ago, you were out there at Mr. and Mrs. What's-Their-Name to go out to your grocery store, or old Bob such-and-such to go out and get your hardware. I mean, if you were in a small community, folks, you knew who you bought from. But now, folks, what did they replace that with? They replaced that with ridiculous, half-ass, borderline serfdom, wages out here. I mean, what is Walmart starting at? I don't know about where you're at. I know they try to, be a little bit unbalanced in their pay scale when it comes to certain parts of the country because they can get away with it. But out here in Texas, this is an at-will work state where there's no unions or any of that garbage. So from what I understand, and the only reason I know this information is because I have employees that actually have applied for a job at this ridiculous conglomerate, and they tell me that they start your ass off at $7.50 an hour. $7.50 an hour. That's great, huh? You're gonna replace mom and pop shops. You're gonna replace all this. $7.50 an hour jobs. Welcome to America, folks. And this is why America has gone down the tubes, and it sickens me to my stomach, folks. That's why it's hard for me to get up on the Blog Talk Radio Network and attempt to do any type of commentary of this nature. It's very hard for me to do so because when I look at the consequence of the very liberalism and feminism that has infested the minds of America, I look at the very consequence of it, and it seems that we're too far gone. I mean, it's hard for me to get the ambition to actually come up on here and to do a broadcast. It's hard to do. It's hard to do because look at what's happening around us, folks. Look what's happening around us. And
And you know, folks, I know there's a lot of people out here thinking that I'm Mr. Unpatriotic because I'm actually making these criticisms about modern-day America. But let me tell you something. For all you stupid, blinded idiots, you stupid, hyper-patriot jerk nuts that are out here trying to chastise me, hey, I'm the guy who wants a little bit of morality in America, all right? I'm the person out here that's trying to advocate, American principle, the Constitution. That's what I'm advocating. I care about America first, everybody else second, folks. And I don't care what American you are. All right? If you pledge allegiance to the United States of America, it shouldn't matter. But, folks, look at what's happened. The multinational corporations have taken over. They've replaced all forms of employment. They've taken the means of production. And for all you idiots that don't know what that means the means of production, all the machines that make the products that we consume. All the means of production are no longer in America. They're in China. They're in South America. They're in Mexico. That's where they're at, folks. So we don't produce anything. So, if for some reason America decided, hey, wait a minute, we want to care about Americans first, we don't want to go along with this whole garbage that's going on out here, well, lo and behold, we're going to be, stuck with our pecker shafts in our hand, not knowing what in the blue hell to do because we don't have anything to manufacture in America. The only thing that we produce, entertainment, cheeseburgers. And frankly, folks, I think we're losing, 3 or 4 steps on the entertainment factor because I'm seeing more and more fruity-ass foreigners and Englishmen, and I'm not talking against the Englishmen. I'm just, making a comment, I don't hate anybody. But, you got these French films, these frogs from France that are out here making better films in America. So we can't even do that right. Unbelievable, folks. I'm sorry I'm going off here, folks, but I'm drained, folks. I mean, I'm depressed. I can't believe that this is America. And nobody seems to notice, and nobody seems to give two rats' asses. That's great. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I haven't taken any calls yet because I've just been going off. And the reason I've been going off, folks, is because, well, frankly, I mean, either somebody needs to say something and put it on the record, and that's what I love about the Blog Talk Radio Network, that this is on the damn record, that these each and every one of these broadcasts are time, dated, stamped. All right? And I'm glad, because right now, folks, we're witnessing something that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. I mean, and I hate to keep harping on all the past, but it's very, very recent. It's not as, far back as you think about it, but $850 billion bailout, $850 billion bailout to the financial institutions that caused this economic debacle. We just gave away our great-great-grandchildren's future, folks, and nobody cared. Nobody gave two rats' asses. Everybody thought, oh, as long as I get another loan for my new pickup that I want to get in '09, or just as long as I get another car loan, or just as long as I get another, this loan, that loan. I mean, folks, don't you idiots understand that this bailout was a highway robbery? People, I know I had equated it to corporate socialism, but if it were corporate socialism, that would mean that the tax money that went to the financial institutions that saved them, that would mean we own them. If it's corporate socialism, that our tax dollars saved them, so that means we would own them. No, it doesn't mean that. It does not mean that. What's going to happen is these morons are going to take that $850 billion and they're going to put it in the bank accounts and they're going to lend your own money, my tax-paying dollars, your tax-paying dollars, they're going to lend it back to you with high interest rates. And the reason they're going to justify the high interest rates, well, we just went through an economic debacle. And you people are going to pay for it, and you're going to love it, and that's just how it is. No American is going to sit here and actually acknowledge what in the blue hell is happening. It's unfortunate. Anyway, we got a caller here from the 918 area code. Let me see if I can put you. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? 918, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. 918's from Oklahoma, so I'm pretty close down there to Texas where you're at. So I can understand a lot of what you're saying and really relate to it. And as a young man coming up in America right now, seeing all of this go on around me, it just makes me realize, something's got to be done. And it's so great to hear somebody, a patriot like you, on air saying things like that. And what I wanted to actually bring up and talk to you about was earlier today while I was driving, I'm a painter as a worker, so obviously, I'm feeling the heat of all the foreigners coming in and taking the jobs, ruining the trade,
Absolutely.
So as a painter, I experience that firsthand on a day-to-day basis, and it's hard for me to put food on the table for my family whenever I've got to compete with Mexicans that'll come in and do my job worse than me for, 3 times as less pay.
And something, sir, I'm starting to think that is by design. I've never used to think these types of thoughts, but, as you see the absolute implosion of America happen before our very eyes, it seems to me that these idiots wanted all this time, or whoever's in control. You think that these...
Exactly. It feels like a scheme. It feels like I'm caught in some kind of web that was planned out. I agree, exactly.
You got 30 million. It's an estimated 30 million illegal immigrants that are now in America. And they are degrading the cost of labor. And you just said that you're a painter.
I'm a painter, exactly, by trade.
And let me tell you, is the influx of immigrants that you're in Oklahoma, it's a hop, skip, and a jump here from Texas. Are you feeling the pinch out there with these illegal immigrants attempting to degrade the integrity of your line of work?
I'm feeling it to such a degree that it's almost hard for me to take pride in my trade.
It's unfortunate,
that's what it really is. But what happened to me earlier today is that I was driving some equipment from work, and I was listening to another great patriot of ours on the national radio, Bill O'Reilly, and he was discussing President-elect Barack Obama's future plans of revoking Christmas as a federal holiday. And
I haven't read about that. Can you enlighten us on that? I wasn't aware of that.
As a matter of fact, I'm about to read the source to you right now, actually.
All right, yeah. Can you name the source, just in case there's anybody that thinks this is a bunch of malarkey?
Yes, sir. This was posted in the Washington Post today, this morning, and today's paper. And
all right.
President-elect Barack Obama and his recently announced cabinet members were outlining their general plan for the refoundation and rebuilding of America, which we all know is him taking from the working man and giving to the needy. But I'm not going to get into that right now. Don't get me sidetracked. But
go for it.
All right. His paper, here it is. His opening line was, "Now lick the penis that made you feel good. Oh, your penis tastes so good. It has such a dirty smell, and it's throbbing inside my mouth."
No, that's just great. That's just great. Did everybody hear that right there, sir? Or did everybody hear that? This is what America has turned. I'm glad that young man called up. I had to cut him off, though, because he was being absolutely vulgar and profane. But, you see, that young man sounded like he was possibly 20-something, maybe early 20s. And you see, this is what feminism and liberalism has done to America, right there. That's what it's done, folks. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's just, I sit here and I look at the next generation coming up, and they sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops. Yeah, and they come in here, and the reason that they're trying to agitate a conservative like myself, folks, is because they want all this ridiculous, immoral malarkey to unfold itself. These liberals and these feminists, and I've said it and I'll continue to say it, these liberals and these feminists are not going to be happy until there's oral copulation between two men happening across the street from an elementary school. All right? These liberals and these feminists are not going to be happy until it's underground San Francisco 1979. I'm telling you this right now, and if you don't believe me, you go take a good look at your city, if you happen to live in any type of small or mid-size or big metropolis. All right? These people are not going to be happy until we're,
upping the abortion rate another 1.5 mil a year. All right? These people are not going to be happy, folks. And you know what's unfortunate about most liberals and feminists? You know what's unfortunate about most liberals and feminists? I'll tell you this. Most of them don't even know what in the blue hell they believe. You notice if you ever talk to a liberal or a feminist, and you ever try to pick apart their head or pick apart their brain and attempt to have some sort of, I guess, discourse or some sort of debate with a liberal, you notice that they're ill-equipped mentally. I mean, most of them, all they do is spit back a bunch of lines regurgitated from some talking head on the television or some, idiot that told them to tell somebody else that same thing. All right? It's just horrible. I don't know what to say, folks. I mean, I'm just as shocked as you are. I mean, this is why I haven't done a show in so long, folks, is because, it's not just idiots coming up, sounding like they just popped out of the derriere of George Michael in a damn bathroom in a park somewhere. It's not that, folks. It's just you take a look around. I mean, I walk outside my house, and all I see is liberalism and feminism. I see single-parent families being the majority of the day. You see, out here in Texas, folks, anywhere below Austin, Texas is an absolute cesspool. And I hate to say that, and anybody who happens to be from South Texas, hey, I'm just telling it how it is. It's an absolute cesspool. It is the colon of America, literally. And I hate to say that. Because if you take a trip down to Corpus Christi, Texas, or San Antonio, Texas, or anywhere south in that direction, you're going to see the very consequence of feminism and liberalism. You're going to see women dragging 5 or 6 kids behind them with no father around, and they're in abundance. I mean, this is happenstance out here in these areas of the country. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the majority of what Texas's entitlements, the majority of Texas entitlements comes from this area right here. I mean, let me tell you something, folks. If you want to take a good whiff of liberalism and feminism in action, I strongly suggest to you go down to San Antonio, Texas. And now I'm not talking about that stupid Riverwalk, all right? Go a little bit beyond that. Go a couple of streets down from that, all right? And you'll see what I'm talking about. Go down to Corpus Christi, Texas. And don't stand around the beach and don't go around, oh, yeah, it's a great time out here. Go out in the city. Go out there and take a good look and see what you're going to find out there. You're going to find nothing but just, women who have shitted out about 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers. You're seeing, gang members there on just a rampant and consistent basis. Anybody who you go up to, whether it's in a retail or any time, if you ever have to be waited on in these areas, it's like going into Guadalajara or Oaxaca, Mexico, or Tijuana or some crap. I don't know. I don't know what to say, folks. I mean, all I can do is attempt to provide discourse on these subject matters. All right? I mean, what's unfortunate is that the American public is so anesthetized with all this ridiculous malarkey, liberalism, and feminism that they don't care. I mean, did you see these morons once Barack Hussein Obama was elected? Did you see him on TV? They're out here crying, oh, yeah, we're finally going to, something's going to happen. We're doing something in life. What are we accomplishing, folks? I mean, this is Bill Clinton 3 is what we're witnessing here. Remember, whatever happened to change? I just don't understand, man. I mean, here you are, you got all these stupid minions out here at these Barack Hussein Obama rallies. They're out here holding these stupid signs. They're, change. And what do we have? We got Hillary Clinton as the damn Secretary of State. We got, Bill Richardson's stupid ass in there somewhere. We got all, Rahm Emanuel. Are you kidding me with this stupid buffoonery, Rahm Emanuel? I mean, he looks so disingenuous every time he talks on the damn television set. I want to throw a damn tomato at him. It's stupid, folks, and let me tell you, I don't know what in the blue hell everybody's so happy about. All right? I mean, I'm not saying John Turncoat McCain would have been a better choice. Believe me, he wouldn't have. I mean, he would have just, helped perpetuate this stupid liberalism and feminism, but at a slower rate. But now that we got Barack Hussein Obama in office, well, I mean, they're just going to help accelerate that liberalism and feminism that much more quicker, aren't they? Huh? Yep, I mean, what was Barack Hussein Obama saying earlier this week? Something about, oh, well, we're going to get all combat troops out of Iraq. You notice how he said that in, very precise language? Combat troops. We're going to take all the combat troops out of Iraq. All these minions, all these idiots that were crying and calling this stupid moron the Messiah and all this garbage, all of a sudden, they're starting to get smacked into reality at this point. And I'm glad, too. I'm really glad. They're starting to realize that voting for Barack Hussein didn't mean that we were going to get out of Iraq. It doesn't mean that. We're going to stay in Iraq. That's all there is to it. All you anti-Iraqi war people that voted for Barack Obama, you got fooled. All right? I mean, you heard it today out of the damn horse's mouth. We're going to take out all combat troops. Combat troops. Now, it doesn't mean that, we're just going to go ahead and leave Iraq and the war is over. That's not what that means. That is not what that means. And you see, what's unfortunate, folks, is that it's these wars that are depleting the integrity of our currency. It's these wars that are, I don't even really know what the agenda is at this point anymore, folks. I really don't. We're sitting here spending, $15 million an hour in this war in Iraq, and yet, we're about to hit the $11 trillion mark as far as a country's debt is concerned. We're consuming more than we produce. Most of the country is in complete economic turmoil. And what I mean by most of the country, I'm talking about personal debt. Personal debt is just at a ridiculous, who the hell knows the consequences of that. We haven't even felt the whole repercussions of default loans and default credit. We haven't even heard that yet. Our economy is gone, folks. You've got people right now on their knees begging for their own socialism, for Christ's sake. Do you hear these people? Please give me another stimulus package check, please, please. And what do you have? You have the damn Democrats, these liberals, these feminists that are out here now in control of the damn Congress and the White House. They're out here talking about having about 3 or 4 stimulus packages given out to people for the next couple of years. This is what it is. This is the new America where we're living in, where you got people saying, oh, yay, the government's going to send me some money. That's a good thing now in today's America. The government's going to give me more money. Yay! Are you kidding me? What about opportunity? How about that? What about some opportunity out here? Nobody has any opportunity anymore. Don't you idiots understand that we don't produce anything anymore? That means all the products that we consume are made somewhere else. They're made in China, you idiot! And what does that mean? Well, that means that we have to compete with the Chinese when it comes to production and manufacturing and that sort of thing. And how are we going to compete with the Chinese when the Chinese government is forcing the Chinese people to work for 15 cents an hour, 10 or 15 hours a day, under the name of communism? Huh? How are you going to compete with that? You can't! And all the jobs that we do have out here, well, the wages of those jobs that are around,
They're going down because of the 30 million illegal immigrants that are in the country right now, degrading the cost of labor. And then we have these stupid financial institutions that we should have just let fall and burn. These financial institutions that we just gave $850 billion to. $850 billion, folks. That's not peanuts, I'll tell you that right now. I can't believe, you know that you sold out your great-great-grandchildren by allowing that crap to pass in Congress and allow it to be passed into law. And now we're hearing from the damn, reports out here that the federal or the Treasury Department doesn't even have any oversight on what these stupid, idiot, multinational banking ass clowns are doing with our money. With your money, my money. And everybody just thinks it's great. Oh, it's okay. America, right? Yeah, just brush that off of your mind, you stupid idiot. Just like you brushed off everything else here in America, and that's why it's a feminist and liberal hellhole. I hope you people are proud of this crap. I hope you're proud of the new socialist, quasi-communist, quasi-fascist America, because it's your fault. It's your fault for allowing feminism and liberalism to become the majority of America. It's your fault. It's the American people's fault. Instead of actually participating in your duty as a citizen, to participate in your government. This government was made for the people, by the people, but when the people are asleep at the damn wheel, who takes control? Who in the blue hell takes control? The multinational corporations that have made this damn country into nothing but, I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're in right now. This is not America. This is not America. I don't know what this is, folks. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what kind of bad dream I'm in here. I keep trying to break stuff. I keep trying to, pinch myself. I can't believe that this is the America that I'm living in. For the 90% of the people in America that allowed this to happen. And I'm talking to all of you, if you happen to be listening to me live or in the archive. What you need to do, because it's your fault, you need to look at yourself in the mirror right now. So get up off your fat ass and go to the nearest mirror. All right? I want you to go to that mirror and look at yourself right in your feminist and liberal worshiping beady eyes. All right? I want you to take a good look in there and see what's going on. And then I want you to spit in your face. Spit in your damn face. Spit in your face. And that's from me to you, you stupid piece of crap, for allowing our country to go down to this level. Sorry, folks. I know I should be calming down here, and I know that I'm going a little haywire, and I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry. I'm sincerely sorry, folks, but I just can't take this anymore, folks. I love this country. I mean, I hope you folks realize, if you compare me and what I present as political conservative commentary and compare it to anybody on the internet, anybody on the radio, anybody on the TV, there's nobody that's going to believe in what he says as much as I do right here, folks. The reason that you hear me yelling, the reason that you hear me speaking, because it's passion, damn it. And what am I so passionate about? I'm passionate about this country, folks. All right? I'm passionate about this country. Because, folks, what we know of as America is no longer. All right? Every single day, we're sitting in a precarious situation that's only going to continue to get worse, folks. Mark my words. This economy, and I hate to say it, folks, I'm not trying to be a hyper-sensationalist. I don't want bad things to happen. I want America to be like it used to be, a united country, a country that was made for the people, by the people, that preserved the integrity of the Constitution, that believed in freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, habeas corpus, posse comitatus. I believe in this stuff. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why we're sitting here having to palate what's going on here in America. I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, and this is the majority now, folks. This is not like a minority anymore. I mean, I remember, you know, when these left-wing liberal long hairs were a minority, and they were just trying to call up, and they're trying to come up and try to be some big Billy badasses because they read the Red Book, or you know, they started worshiping Karl Marx or some kind of ridiculous nonsense like that. But, folks, this is now the majority. This is now the majority here in America. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it. You know, it sounds like right now I'm a little speechless. Do you want to know why I'm a little speechless? I'll tell you why. Let me lay down because I've been throwing stuff around here in my little area that I have. Let me lay down on this couch. Let me tell you something, folks. I just don't understand why America turned out this way. I mean, how could we be so stupid? I try to rationalize with myself, folks. I always try to give the American people the benefit of the doubt, but it's starting to wear thin, if you will. I try to give the American people the benefit of the doubt by saying, well, it's a feminist and liberal education system, Ghost. A feminist liberal education system. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. They think that they're in damn Fantasy Island out here. I mean, they're like that little midget that was, you know, walking out after the plane. The plane, the plane, the plane. That's what most of these idiots and these feminists, that's what they are. But, folks, at some point, you have to open your eyes and take a good whiff of reality out here. And once you start taking a good whiff of reality, you start realizing that these liberal long hairs, these muff-diving feminists, not only have they hijacked the youth of America and the future of America via the education system, but they've hijacked every bureaucratic mechanism of government. And if you don't believe me, you go take a look at it for yourself. All right? If you happen to be a family, and I'm talking a man and a woman, and you have children, and you have happened to unfortunately got laid off because, well, some fat cat in some multinational corporation somewhere wanted a $50 billion paycheck this year, and you're one of those unfortunate people that got laid off because old Bigwig wanted $50 million this year, well, you come out here and you can't find a job because, well, there aren't no jobs. We're a service industry-based economy, and the jobs that are here, you got to compete with a bunch of illegals that'll do it for $2 an hour anyway. So you find yourself in a precarious situation. You can't take care of your family. You can't take care of your children. So go up to an entitlement area. I don't know where they get these government checks or how you get assistance, but wherever you go there. Go over there and talk to one of these ridiculous social workers and ask them for a break. Ask them, hey, look, I don't want welfare. I want workfare. All right? Help me out. You know what they're going to tell you? They're going to say, well, because you're married and because you have a husband, you know, we can only give you about maybe $200 a month. That's all we can help you out with. Sorry, but what about my 2-3 kids here? I mean, what about them? Well, you're married, so there's nothing I can do for you. But I do have some good news. If you happen to get divorced, Then I can hook your wife up with about $2,000 a month in government subsidy. So why don't you just go ahead and get a divorce? This is what is happening in America. This is the system that we're working with. They're dissolving the American family. They're dissolving the American economy. They're dissolving morality in America. And then we wonder why America's going down the tubes. It's their fault. It's the liberals. It's the feminists. And I am an unapologetic. Mark my word, folks. I am an unapologetic anti-feminist, anti-liberal. I will be that until my last breath. And all you muff-diving liberals that are out there worshiping Gloria Steinem, well, you can go suck an egg. You stupid, bull-dyke, freaky little bull-nosed, fruity-ass. Ugh! I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry if I sound a little upset. I'm sorry if I sound a little angry. But I'm passionate about what I believe in, folks. I can't believe I'm living in America where there's damn feminists and crap. I mean, that's why, sometimes I got to break something. Sometimes I always have to. Let me calm down. All right, let me take a couple breaths here. Anyway, folks, I'm sorry for getting heated there. But, I'm at my wit's end, I mean, I'm at my wit's end when it comes to this garbage. All right? I'm at my wit's end. I'm sorry. I mean, it seems to me, and I've made this aware on a couple of shows, it seems to me that we're sitting here in an America where we're actually pampering screw-ups. I mean, this is the feminist and liberal ideology. You pamper screw-ups. All right? And what do I mean by that? Well, that means, hey, if you happen to have 5 or 6 children and you're single, well, we're going to go ahead and help you out. If you happen to be a drug addict, oh, it's okay, we'll help you out. But you know who's left behind in all this pampering of screw-ups out here? The people that did what they were supposed to do. And they didn't ask for any kudos, and they didn't ask for any props. These are the people that are out here getting the shaft in this country. The people that are law-abiding citizens, that are taking care of their families, all right, that are taking care of their children, all right, that don't go out and, partake in philanderous activities and embrace feminism and liberalism and go out and get arrested and, and these people are left in the dust. Meanwhile, we're pampering anybody who happens to screw up. Haven't you noticed that? Haven't you noticed that, oh, you're addicted to drugs? Oh, it's okay. Let me go ahead and give you a hug and put you in a 12-step program. Huh? Oh, it's okay. Come on, let me go ahead and give you look, let's cheer for him, folks. He's been clean for a week. Oh, I mean, this is the America that we're living in, folks. We're pampering screw-ups in America. Anyway, I have some people in here saying, well, what should be done, Ghost? What should be done to help America? Well, folks, let me tell you something. It's almost too far gone. I mean, America as we know it is too far gone. I mean, first thing we'd have to do is, I hate to say it, but do something about the 30 million illegal immigrants that are in this country right now that are degrading the cost of labor. That's one of the first things you do. The second, well, actually, the very, very first thing you do, the very first thing, the illegal immigrants, that's second. The first thing you do is tell these multinational corporations, you tell all of them, and you say, hey, wait a minute, do you have loyalty to America? Or are you out here, basing your headquarters in France or something, or you're out here, got your headquarters in the Bahamas, or you're trying to do whatever it takes to not, be loyal to America. And we need to start telling them, hey, if you want to be loyal to America, bring some of those means of production back to America. And if they don't want to do it, by all means, I'm talking about multinational corporations, folks. I'm talking about these entities that could care less about anything else except CEOs getting $50 million a year, or $100 million a year, some of these CEOs out here. I'm talking about these companies. These companies need to be wiped off the face of America. I hate to say that. I hate to say that. Now, we could sit here all day and say, well, it just needed the right regulation, Ghost. That's what it needed. It needed the right regulation. We had regulation, morons. And look what happened. We still had an economic debacle. And why do we have an economic debacle? Well, because, folks, our currency is degraded. And why is our currency degraded? The close to $11 trillion in American government debt, and all the debt on a personal level of every American person. That's degrading the American dollar. You know what else is degrading the American dollar? We don't produce anything. Try to look for something made in America. All right? Try to look for something made in America, and you're going to find them, but it's going to be very seldom, and it's going to be very scarce because we don't produce anything anymore, folks. So, I mean, to be honest with you, for the folks that are asking me what the hell we should do, there is no solution. All right? What we should have done first, instead of giving our $850 billion to these financial institutions that basically caused this economic debacle, instead of giving $850 billion to them, we should have given something to small businesses or people to encourage sole proprietorship business ownership. I mean, we should have done something like that. We should have invested in a small business. Because, folks, a small business person is going to care about their employees. I mean, there's some bureaucrat in some multinational corporation doesn't give a rat's ass if you sell the most products, doesn't give a rat's ass if you save the company money. You know what, bureaucratic corporate America is? It's who you can brown nose the most. I mean, whose ass you can kiss the most. That's multinational corporations. These idiots that are up here and the CEOs that are making the, $50 million a year paychecks and $100 million a year paychecks. These are the folks out here that, they don't give a crap. I mean, they don't care. They brown nose their way to the top. And do you think that if, you being a very small sector of the conglomeration of the multinational corporation, you think that the CEO is going to give two rats' asses if you did a better job than some idiot that, is probably, giving this idiot a hand job in the corner somewhere? No, you're not. Okay? I mean, this is how multinational corporations are run, folks. They're not run efficiently. All the supposed transparency that these stupid companies were supposed to have, they were able to cook the books. They were able to manipulate. And, folks, this is why we're in the economic debacle we're in. We should be investing in the small businesses. Well, it's too late now. I mean, we already gave $850 billion to these stupid financial institutions, and word is, if you look at the latest reports, the Treasury Department hasn't even given any kind of oversight over it, and half the money's already been dispensed who the hell knows where. And this is your money, my money, our tax-paying dollars, when it should have been to go and spawn entrepreneurship. I think that's what it should have done. I think it should have spawned entrepreneurship. I think you should have went out there and tried to encourage innovation, try to encourage production. I mean, that's what we should have done. But no, we instead we just sat here, played with our pecker shafts, saying, "Oh, it's a great day. Let's just continue to consume. Yay! Let's just go out. I'm gonna go consume over here. I'm gonna go consume over here. I'm gonna go consume over there." And that's what happened. And now everybody's in debt. now everybody's out of work. And why is everybody out of work? Well, we've already talked about that, haven't we? Means of production out of America. All right? Outsourcing has been encouraged by our government. Our government encourages outsourcing. And you probably will ask yourself, as a layman political junkie, if you will, you're asking yourself, how in the hell can this government sit here and vote against my benefit? I mean, I thought I elected these people to vote my conscience. They're not voting your conscience, all right? You got to ask yourself a question, folks. How can these idiots that we send to Washington know everything about everything? I mean, you have to think, these idiots in Washington, these people are making decisions about our health. They're making decisions about space travel. They're making decisions about economics. They're making decisions about laws about, prayer in school and tender. I mean, just think about all the garbage that these politicians have authority over, and these people are supposed to be the end all of what? I know it may sound to some that I have lost faith in my government, and you're right, folks. I have lost faith in it. Did I go out and vote for any of these pieces of trash for president? Absolutely not. And people will criticize me and say, well, why didn't you vote, Ghost? I didn't vote because, who was I supposed to choose out of these ass clowns? I mean, they're all selling us out, folks. I know all you stupid Barack Hussein Obama supporters thought that, the second coming was going to happen and, we were going to rise again and somehow, mass-producing machines were going to, through osmosis, kind of happily erect themselves out of nowhere in America, and all of a sudden production was just going to happen, and, idiots were actually going to get paid $90,000 a year to put the tail on the ass of a damn Pokemon or in an assembly line or some crap. I mean, this is what these morons that voted for Barack Obama thought. And, folks, it really didn't matter who you voted for. It was going to be the same outcome either way. Because, look, I know a lot of you folks wanted out of Iraq. We're not getting out of Iraq. We're in Iraq to stay. If you don't like it, well, then do something about it. The unfortunate part about it is we're going to extend the war. We're going to extend the war. We're going to extend the war into Pakistan. We're going to extend the war into Afghanistan. For what? I mean, folks, don't you understand that we are flipping the tab for these stupid wars? I don't like flipping the tab for wars that aren't benefiting America, folks. I'm serious. This is not funny here already, all right? All this debt we're incurring, I don't understand how you as an American person can sit here and actually call yourself an American patriot and allow this blind spending of our money, of our taxpaying dollars, happen for these ridiculous wars. Now, I was for the war in Iraq. I'll be the first to tell you. But, folks, we have lost it. And I know there's a lot of you folks are sitting here saying, oh, that's a defeatist attitude. Folks, why do you think our troops are coming home and blowing themselves away or hanging themselves on a consistent basis, folks? Why do you think our troops are coming home and just deciding to go haywire and just decide to kill themselves and kill their families? This is an epidemic that's happening. Why? During World War II, let me tell you something. They were walking around mounds of bodies in World War II. These were the same people that saw the Holocaust firsthand. Normandy, these battles where there's just death all around you. And these people from this generation, they were able to withstand seeing all that and doing all that. Why are these troops that are coming from Iraq going haywire and killing themselves? Folks, you can look this up for yourself if you don't believe me. I'll tell you why, folks, because we're not at war. All right? What these young men and women are doing in Iraq right now, and I hate to say this, folks, because I sound like some stupid
idiot liberal long hair. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that to you. But, folks, what these poor young men and women are ordered to do out there is not fight a war. These people are implementing a military police state out in Iraq. And I'm telling you, a lot of these young men can't come back to civilized society. They can't come back to civilized society and see their family, see civilized people, having a good time, smiles on their faces, no fear, none of that stuff. And then they recollect what they had to do in Iraq, what they were ordered to do in Iraq. Because, folks, we are not there fighting anybody anymore. I mean, maybe we were there for a minute. They're not there anymore. So what are we doing there? Folks, we are forcing these young men and women. If you don't believe me, go ask them for yourself. Folks, I talk to young men and women. I live in Texas, and there's a lot of military bases out here, There's one not too far from here in Killeen, Texas, that, that's where most of these boys are coming out of out here, and I'm hearing them. I'm hearing them firsthand. They're saying, we're not fighting anybody over there, Ghost. We're just policing. What the hell does that mean? Well, that means if we're ordered to go into, a certain area, we got to, go in, search the houses, and see if there's any insurgents in there. What the hell does that mean? I try to, get in their heads. What are you talking about? Well, that means we have to go in, kick down people's doors, get everybody out of the house at gunpoint, and see if there's any kind of explosives or guns or anything of that nature. And I think to myself, and what if somebody, just happens to possibly resist because that's their house, Like, hey, why are you coming into my house? Well, what do you think happens, Ghost? And that's what they told me. And you see, folks, this is what we're spending our money on. This is what we're wasting. And I hate to say this, folks, because I love every American soul that loves this American country. But we are wasting fine patriots for some unknown reason out in Iraq. And I hate to say that. But, folks, I mean, what I thought Iraq was, because I thought it was from the beginning, an ideological battle. See, after 9/11, you had to fight this battle of ideology because you had all these tyrants running rampant in the Middle East, subjugating their people with all this religious theocracy, to hate the West. I mean, they're brought up from the time they're born until they're adults to hate America, and that they'll get some sort of religious significance if they blow themselves up and as many as Americans and Westerners with them as possible, that they're going to go to heaven or something. And I understood that, maybe we needed to go in Afghanistan, Iraq, to attempt to try to facilitate some sort of, I wouldn't say democracy, but some sort of freedom, where these people would have some sort of integrity and understand our freedoms and understand why we are so passionate about our country. And we could instill that upon them, and they could live in freedom and harmony and free markets and that sort of thing. Well, folks, that is not happening, okay? That is not happening, and as a result, our economy is collapsing. Our society is falling. I mean, that's what's happening, folks. I mean, and the reason I'm talking about Iraq right now, and the reason I'm talking about our troops and their position in that war is because, folks, I find it hard to believe. I was, this Thanksgiving, I volunteered, and I'm not going to tell you where I volunteered, but, we were serving homeless and homeless folks, all right? Let's just put it that way. Homeless and seniors, but basically it was a lot of homeless people. And, folks, I mean, it was just unbelievable to me to realize how many veterans are homeless. So I did the research, and 1 in 4 homeless are ex-veterans out here. And I think to myself, how in the blue hell could that be? I mean, I thought we took care of those that went out and put their lives on the line for the Constitution, our freedoms, America, the American way, is what Superman used to always say. Remember that? Truth, justice, and the American way. And you see, folks, in that research of, researching how many homeless there are, 1 in 4 homeless are veterans, I also read that we're having an epidemic with these Iraqi soldiers coming back and just, for no reason. I mean, nobody knows why. Their parents, their wives, no one knows why. They're just deciding to hang themselves and shoot themselves and kill themselves. I mean, this is an epidemic. You can read the numbers for yourself. As a matter of fact, there is no given number for this statistic. This is only speculation based on, I think, a John Hopkins report. I mean, there's no actual military number to give for this phenomena that's out here. But it's happening. You can read papers all over the country. This is happening. And why do you think it's happening, folks? I'm telling you this right now. I believe this in my heart. The reason it's happening is because they can't believe what they were ordered to do out there. They can't believe they can't live with what the hell they had to do. And, I mean, how could you compare that with any other war that we've had? I mean, with every other war we've had as America, we've had justification. The folks from World War II, they justified viewing all that horror and death and dismemberment and all that stuff. I mean, they justified that by saying, you know what, it was just, all right? It was just because we had to do it, because if we didn't do it, our freedoms were going to be taken away, and, who in the hell knows what happened. That's what, and you got these poor boys coming back home from Iraq. They're asking themselves, the crap I had to do out there as a police state soldier, because this is not a war, it's a police state soldier, the crap I was ordered to do, I mean, I don't think it was right. And I know that they don't think it's right, and they're horrified by this. And I don't want to harp on this, folks, but I'm just saying, maybe it's time we start thinking about either not getting out of Iraq, because at this point, all those boys that got their, legs blown off, and females, by the way, we do have females that are fighting a war out there that are suffering through the same problem. So all our military that are out here that got, I think there's like close to 50,000 casualties, over 4,000 some odd deaths. I mean, we're just going to let them go by the wayside if we just jump ship now. What I hope would happen is that we force this Iraqi parliament to finally start paying back the debt incurred for liberating these people. I don't see why that's so hard to ask, given the fact that they've got close to $100 billion in a surplus. Yeah, they got a $100 billion surplus. They have no debt. The Iraqis have no debt. It was wiped out. We told all the governments that the Iraqi government owed money to that, hey, just forget about it. Well, if they can do that, why can't we do that? Why can't America just say, you know what, all the debt we owe, forget about it? How come we can't do that? If we can do that for Iraq, how come we can't do that for us? It just makes no sense, folks. This is why, we got to start worrying about America, all right? And I'm talking about you true American patriots out there. And I'm not talking about you hyper-patriots that, think that you're a patriot because you put a flag outside your house. You got to know why that flag is being flown. You have to understand why you're an American. You have to understand why this country is sacred, why we need to keep these freedoms and the Constitution sacred to our society. You need to understand this. But unfortunately, most folks don't. They're more worried about, the latest rodent on Paris Hilton's crotch, or, the next crotch shot of Britney Spears, or, is Jamie Lynn Spears going to shit out another kid again? That's what people are more worried about. Yeah. Great. Brangelina and all this stupid horse crap. That's what everybody's more worried about instead of their own government, instead of their own freedom, instead of their own liberty. They're more worried about this other ridiculous, monotonous, not going to give two rat's asses in about 2 years crap. That's what these people are worried about. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach, folks. It really does. And how it doesn't make some of you sick, I don't know. I just don't understand it. Anyway, folks, I think we got about 10 minutes left in this program, folks, and I'm going to go ahead and end the show here. And the reason I'm going to end the show is because I'm just drained, folks. I'm drained because I can't believe what is happening in America. And then every time I get up on this broadcast, as you heard from that stupid, Boy George Fruity Femi ass that called up earlier and, just decided to be vulgar and, say all kinds of foul crap. That's just a perfect example of what I'm talking about, folks. That's a perfect example of what in the blue hell I'm talking about. This is what feminism and liberalism has done to America. It's provided nothing but a bunch of deviant activity for our children, deviant thoughts, deviant ideas. And this is it. So where do we go from here, folks? Where exactly do we go from here? Well, there is nowhere to go from here, folks, and I want every one of you to realize that this Christmas that you have here, this Christmas that we're celebrating, you savor it, because this is going to be the last good Christmas that you're going to have in a very long time. It's going to be the last good Christmas that you're going to have out here, because I guarantee you, give this economy, I would say 5 years maximum. Before this economy, I wouldn't even give it that long. I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised by this time next year, this damn economy isn't some quasi-socialist garbage. I mean, literally quasi-socialist crap. I wouldn't be surprised to see a complete and utter collapse out here in America within the next 12 months. And I'm not saying that to be a hyper-sensationalist. Just look at the damn facts. We consume more than we produce. We're in $11 trillion debt. We got all kinds of outstanding and default loans on a personal debt level. All right? Well, our currency is being degraded. All right? We're out here in all kinds of extended wars, and we don't know when the hell we're getting out. All right? There are no jobs in America. You've got 30 million illegal immigrants degrading the cost of labor for the jobs that are left in America. I mean, we look at the moral front. You look at the social landscape of America. You got single-parent families the majority of the day. You've got teen pregnancies that are now being embraced. You've got all kinds of ridiculous nonsense that I never thought I'd ever see in America. I never thought I'd ever see this garbage in America, but we're witnessing it, folks. We're witnessing it, damn it. We're witnessing the destruction of the family. We're witnessing the destruction of the American economy, and we're witnessing the destruction of America. But I'm not going to go quietly in that good night, folks. I am a patriot. I love America. I love the Constitution. And let me tell you something, folks. If you think you're an American, if you think you're a true American, and you're within the sound of my voice, obviously you have an internet connection. So go out, go to your nearest search engine, and search for a copy of the Constitution. And I want you to print it out and put it in your pocket, put it in your wallet, put it in your underwear. Do whatever it takes. Have a copy of the Constitution on you, just so you can know your rights are sacred to you. Just so if anybody happens to stop you, or God forbid, you go and you get hit by a bus and they look through your pockets, you're going to have a copy of the Constitution because you love America, you care about America, you care about preserving the rights that are sacred to our country, you care about the country, you care about our children, you care about the future. Show that you care, damn it. Go get a copy of the Constitution and put it in your pocket. Put it in your damn pocket right now.
And I know there's a lot of little fruity-ass, liberals and feminists that are out here laughing. Oh, yeah, the Constitution. They're laughing out here. These people don't care about the Constitution. They don't know what they care about. I'm telling you this right now. Most feminists, most liberals, they don't believe in a quarter of what the crap they say. They just want to belong to something. They just want to belong to a group. It's this mob mentality garbage. They just want to belong to something that's chic, popular. They don't know the agenda of feminism and liberalism out here. They don't know. These people are Nimrods, and this is why I blame the American people. I blame the American people for allowing this to happen. It's your fault, damn it. It's your fault. This country was made for the people, by the people, and you idiots, all of you, have done nothing. You've allowed this country to go down the tubes, and you're happy about it. You're so great. You're feeling so great. You're tickling your ass crack and thinking it's a great day in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's your fault, damn it. I'm telling you, man, it makes me sick. It makes me want to break. God damn it. It makes me sick to my stomach, folks, that this is the modern-day America, some quasi-communist, fascist, socialist horse crap. And everybody's okay with it, huh? Everybody just seems to be all fine and dandy with it. Not me, folks. Not me. I've got family that spilt blood for this country. All right? I know people personally that have gone out and spilt blood for this country, that love this country, that died for this country. And I'm not going to let you liberal long hairs and you feminist bull dykes come in here and try to pervert this great country of ours. I'm not going to allow you to do it. It's okay that you little feminists and liberals have hijacked the media, and all you're doing is bombarding the American public with nothing but sexual depravity and violence on television for a 24-hour basis. That's fine. That's fine if you want to anesthetize America with all these ridiculous feminist and liberal notions. That's fine. That's fine. But let me tell you something, folks. There are true conservatives out here. And there's many of them in my chat room right now, and I appreciate your patronage, folks. There are true conservatives out here that aren't going to let you continue on thinking that it's a great day in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood out here. Once this illusion of what I'm talking about, all right, because everybody can't see it. It's not blatant. All the things that I'm telling you, all the commentary I have said on this show, folks, and you can look back in the archive, and I strongly suggest you do. Everything I say, folks, is coming to pass, not because I'm some political prophet that can see into the future, because, folks, the facts are there. It's just unfortunate nobody wants to read them. Nobody cares about them. Everybody's just allowing America to go down the wayside. And, folks, it's a sad day. It's a sad day because we're allowing this country of ours to be destroyed. Half these idiots in America are sticking a Kentucky Fried Chicken greased thumb up their ass, and they're more worried about vanity and materialism and, oh, let me go ahead and screw over this idiot so I can make that much more an hour on my pay grade, than they're actually worried about this country, the integrity of this country. I'm talking about all around, all right? Not just our freedoms, but the moral integrity of our country. You know, the economic integrity of our country. Anyway, folks, it's 1 minute left in the program. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me this late evening. I'm going to continue to do these broadcasts, folks. You have to bear with me. They're spontaneous. They're random. I don't have a set schedule. Bookmark the webpage, though, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Bookmark that webpage, and if you can, add me as a friend. Do whatever it takes, folks, because at some point I'm going to get a habitual time schedule going on for this program because, folks, we need to come together. And I'm talking about true conservatives. I'm talking about true American patriots, people that really care about this country. We got to come together, and we've got to do something. We've got to stop the liberal and feminist infestation of this country. We have to stop, and the only way we can do that is if we come together. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me late this evening. Thank you once again, and remember, folks, no matter what happens in this country, I want everyone to understand that no matter what happens, don't allow the integrity of the Constitution pass you by. Don't allow the patriots that died for this country pass you by. You do what you have to do, but don't allow what's about to happen to happen. Thank you very much. Long live the conservative movement and death to feminism. Thank you very much, folks.
A Napa guy knows the only way you'd give a freshly minted driver a brand new car is if he promises to never drive it. Instead, let him grind the gears and knock over the neighbor's mailbox in something a little more suited to his skill level. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, he can safely drive something that's nearly as old as he is. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for him. That's Napa know-how.